I had intended to do a video last night where I bring all the textures from Substance Painter for that microwave oven back into Blender and set them up. And for the first time, I had some problems with Udims. And I spent a lot of time researching that and sort of got it to work. But I see now that there can be problems depending on how you set it up. I think I may have set some of that up wrong. I think perhaps by moving parts of the same object, let's say the body of the microwave, and maybe the door was in UV tile 3, and maybe and the other parts were in UV tile 1, and I skipped 2, you sort of break the sequence. Or if I started something at a later UV tile, and then I went back and tried to load, say, base color 1001, and there was no 1001. I think Blender, at least the version I have with sort of early implementation of UDIMs, as far as I know, d- doesn't always recognize it. And it turns out that if you have an object, let's say the glass, with base color, metallic roughness, maybe height, all in the same UV tile, all right, um, then you can bypass the select Blender search for UV tiles or identify UV tiles. I can't remember the exact word right now. And you can manually put them in, but it becomes longer. And so there are some problems. I managed to get it to work by using the body that I had modeled and UV'd and brought into Substance Painter, and just using the Blender model. But for the back panel, something was just not working at all. So I exported the mesh of the back panel from Substance Painter and brought it back into Blender. And I managed to get it to work, but it took me a long time. So I'm not going to be able to do a video of setting up the UDIMs. This is the first time I've had this problem, and I don't think I really did anything different. But um, I have other videos like the Kursk submarine, and the first one where I did about having higher resolution with the volume knob or whatever, where I've shown how to set up the textures from Substance Painter back in Blender using the UV tiles or UNIM method. So I may not be able to show you this time. I will show you some final renders of the microwave oven and talk about that, and a little bit more maybe of what I think may have happened and how I got it to finally work. All right, so sorry about that. And yeah, I'm going to be going into future projects using UDIMs a little bit more hesitantly, unfortunately. So, and maybe I'll try the newer version of Blender that I have. I just sometimes I don't like to upgrade. When something works for me, like whatever version of Windows I have, version 10, I guess. I don't want to upgrade. All my software's where everything's working. I don't want to screw with it. So yeah, I don't need the latest cutting edge. For the longest time, I had Blender 2.79, and people were saying, you should be switching, but I liked it. I was very comfortable. Anyhow, to make a long story short, we will see what happens. I will be back soon. I have some other stuff to talk to you about as well. So take care and see you soon.